No time for samples, Four Eyes!
I've only seen about 2 seconds of this game, but already I can see the gameplay is very different from other Resident Evil games. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so the gameplay in Operation Raccoon City is really kind of unique. Basically, we're calling our gameplay three-corner conflict, right? So where normally you would have Team A with guns versus Team B with guns, we've got that, which is our foundation of third-person shooter gameplay, but it's a Resident Evil universe, so you've got zombies, tyrants, lickers, hunters in there just indiscriminately attacking everyone, right? And so that leads to interesting abilities, skills, things like our infection mechanic that all have, you know, multi-uses either towards the creatures or towards the other team in campaign mode and versus mode, right? So we're kind of trying to destroy all of the, you know, tropes of TPS gameplay and all the sort of common rules and just create something new.
Sure. So prior to this, we just spoke a little bit about the canon of Resident Evil and the narrative and how this is going to fit in with the other games. Yeah. Can you speak a bit about it?
Yeah, so that's another big question. Operation Raccoon City takes place during the Resident Evil 2 and 3 timeline, but the twist is you play as the bad guys this time, right? You play as Umbrella. So you're going back to the Resident Evil 2-3 timeline, and you've been sent in by Umbrella to kill survivors and cover up their involvement with the original T-Virus outbreak, right? So all the old school characters are there, all the old school enemies are there, Leon and Claire show up, and you're going to cross paths, you're going to meet each other in the story, but it's up to you to decide whether you want to leave that Resident Evil history intact, or you want to do things like kill Leon Kennedy and forever change the history of Resident Evil.
Sweet. Okay, so how about the versus mode? It's obviously a multiplayer mode. Are there other modes or?
Yeah. So our campaign mode is either 1 to 4 player co-op online. Yep. We also have versus mode, which we're talking a little bit about at E3. I can't give you all our secrets just yet. Sure. But you will be able to play versus, and all the system and three-corner conflicts and everything I'm talking about carries over into versus mode. It's a team-based game, so there's 6 different classes, all with their own passive and active abilities. And so you gotta kind of choose how you want to build your team in campaign and versus mode. And we have some unique, you know, Resident Evil specific versus modes, as well as some classic kind of team attack, team deathmatch versus modes as well. And so we'll be announcing more of that stuff as we get later on in our campaign.
As far as the gameplay goes, obviously the first Resident Evil was pretty survival horror-y, right? Have you kept the horror element, or is it just straight up action?
Yeah, so obviously, you know, these guys are Umbrella's security service. They've had special training. They're run and gun, which is why you can move and shoot for the first time ever in Resident Evil, right? So this is going to be a pretty, you know, heart-pounding, high-octane sort of action game. However, we're still Resident Evil. We're still going to try to slow it down. We're still going to try to scare you a few times. But this is less, you know, slow-paced survival horror and more run-and-gun action, but we're still going to try to get you where we can.
Sure, sure. Do mechanics like things like the inventory system, and is there a cover system, new cover system or anything like that?
Well, so those are both good questions, right? So this game, again, is less about survival and more about destroying bodies, right? So you're in there to kill survivors and cover up evidence. So it's less of a resource management game, although, you know, you will be in situations where you have scarce resources. It's less of a resource management game and more of a tactical shooter gameplay. And so to that point, we do have a cover system. There is blind fire, there are grenades, we have CQC, you can grab people, use them as a shield, we've got disarms, we've got a sidearm that you can now fire 360 degrees in case, you know, somebody sneaks up behind you. There's a lot more melee danger in this game than in basic TPSs where you're just, you know, in cover, I'm in cover, shooting at each other. Zombie may come up behind you, you can melee to the back of you, the side of you. You got more tools now to deal with dangers in the Resident Evil universe.
All right, can you tell me anything about bosses?
We will have bosses. What would a Resident Evil game be without bosses? We've announced the Tyrant already. There will be more to come. I can't say anything else about that right now, but we do not intend to disappoint.
If he keeps bleeding, he's gonna attract the entire neighborhood.
Quiet. I hear him.